Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Purposive Communication course, which is a general education subject. Before we proceed to each of your reporting, first I will be discussing the lesson one to begin the course. So, let's proceed to the lesson one, which is the nature and elements of communication. So, do you believe that humans are social in nature? What does it mean when we say humans are social in nature? Does it mean social nga? Ay, social ko kanang sassy, or does it mean social stratification? What do you think means when we say that humans are social in nature? So, think wherever you are right now, think what does it mean when we say of humans are social in nature? Okay. Maybe we're thinking there that humans are social in nature because humans cannot live a day without talking, right? There are types of um, humans, like there are people who are introvert and there are also extrovert, but um, whatever you are on the two I aforementioned, you will always speak and communicate. Humans, if they don't communicate, they are considered dead. So, humans are social in nature because we are designed to make communication not in a way of it could be written or it could be oral. Even before, prior to our way of or the language system, our ancestors or the ancient people before were already communicating through what smoke system. They through smoke system, it signifies that there is someone there living out there, or it could mean something before. So even without speaking, we are communicating. So in this course, we will gonna learn the elements of communication. So what are the elements of communication? Who are the people involved in communication? What are the things involved in communication? So we will understand those things for us to truly understand what is communication. First element of communication, we have the sender. When we say of sender, it is an individual, group, or organization who initiates the communication. Remember the word initiates the communication. This source is initially responsible for the success of the message. The sender's experiences, attitudes, knowledge, skills, perceptions, and culture influence the message. So the sender is the one who initiates the communication. Says, for example, if you are lost and you ask for a question to someone, you are the sender. You are the one who initiates the communication. And say for example, you are asked about, or you wanted to say something regarding cyberbullying. So your perceptions would affect the message that you will be sending um, to your audience. So the sender, remember the word initiates. They are the one who initiates the communication. Diraa magsugod ang communication. Without this sender, there is no communication at all. Okay, so sender, the first element. Next, we have the message. So, if the sender is there, unsa may ginasend sa sender? Of course, it is the message. Message by the cell phone, delay. So what does it mean when we say of message? This is information translated through symbols, that is through symbols which can take on numerous forms such as languages, words, or gestures. These symbols are used to encode ideas into messages that others can understand. So these are information that is translated into symbols. It doesn't just mean symbols, but it could be in a form of languages daw, words, or gestures. Say for example, or signs. It doesn't have to be word or gestures, but it could also be a smoke, as what I've said a while ago. Smoke could also be, a message to someone. So but the most common message that we use to see is the language, the voice, the wavelengths that humans you know produces produce rather. So that is the message. Say for example, what I'm speaking right now is an example of the message. So it's not written, it is oral. Okay, so a mere silence could mean a message to someone. Say for example, pag mangutana siya, pag nakay pangutanon tas dili mo tubag, it could mean a message nga wala siya ganahi or di siya ganahan mo tingog. So when we see of a message, it is the one that the sender send to the receiver. So it doesn't have to be written or written symbols. It could be oral. Okay, so it is the message. So the next one, we have the channel. So what does it mean when we say of channel? Channel ba? Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 6, Channel ABCBN, GMA, TV5. Una na ba ang pasabot anang the channel? So we will be knowing what does it mean when we say of channel this time. So when we say of channel, it is the means used to convey the message. Most channels are either oral or written, but currently visual channels are becoming more common as technology expands. Common channels include the telephone and a variety of written forms such as memos, letters, and depending on the characteristics of the communication. So, when we speak of channel, it does not mean nga kanang channel sa TV, because sometimes it is hard for us to contextualize the word channel because we are used to hearing channel 5, channel 4. But when we contextualize the word channel and communication, it means the means we use to convey the message. Say for example, pag manawag ka sa imuhang mama, unsa man imong gigamit ana, di ba, cellphone? So that is what we call a channel. Ang cellphone ang channel diraa. Kuntahay magpadala ka og kanang letter sa imuhang hinigugma. Unsa man imo gamit diraa? Papel, ang letter. So mo siya ang channel, ang tawag kung giunsa nimo pag paabot sa imuhang message sa receiver. Kung unsay pamaagi nimo ana, that's the channel. Okay, I hope I am, masabtan ako. So that's channel, the means used to convey the message. Remember that one. So let's proceed to the receiver. What does it mean when we say receiver? I know for certain that you are already aware what does receiver mean. When we say of receiver, it is the one who decodes the message. So, by definition, receiver is the individual or individuals to whom the message is directed. The extent to which this person comprehends the message will depend on a number of factors, which include the following: how much the individuals rather know about the topic, the receptivity to the message, and the relationship and trust that exists between sender and receiver. So when we say of receiver, they are the one who receives the message, and there are a lot of factors that affect the way a receiver receives the message. Say for example, the reason why there are a lot of people nga mag-argue, magkalainay buot because lain na to pagsabot ang message nga gihatag sa sender depending on our feelings sa ana nga kanang kuan, our mood ana nga day, our feelings sa ana nga tao, ang atong attitude sa iyaha. It affects the way we receive the message. So it is very important that pag-receive nato sa message, kinahanglan nato i-analyze una-unaon kung unsa jud ang pasabot, i-contextualize nato ang message. Kay sometimes we mistakenly interpret the message nga dili siya maayo nga negative. That's the reason why there is conflict. So it is very important that when we receive the message, kinahanglan nato huna-hunaon atong i-analyze, atong i-comprehend depending on the context sa conversation ninyo before we react, before we give the last element of communication. So before we proceed to the last element of communication, let us first review the parts of communication that we have already tackled. First, we have the sender. Say, for example, any one of us could be a sender. If you are the one who initiates the communication, then you are called the sender. And then the message that you are sending to the receiver is what we call, I say, for example, the words, the spoken words, the or it could be the written words, it could be the gestures. It 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 could be considered as a message to the receiver. So that's what we say, that's what it means when we say receiver, I rather message. So after the message, we have the channel. Unsa imong gagamit kay para ma-convey nimo ang imong message. Say for example, if you wanted to talk to your mother or to your parent, you wanted to call her or him. So unsa man imong gamiton para makatawag ka kung nakasalayo, di ba? You use Messenger, you use Facebook, you use Skype, or you use unsa pay lain, telephone, cell phone, or whatsoever things that you use to um, communicate your loved ones can be considered as channel. Okay, then this the receiver, or the one who receives the message. The way we receive the message depends on our attitude, depends on our personality, the the mood, our mood of the day. So it affects the way we receive the message. So let's proceed to the last part, or the last element of communication. We have the feedback. So pag na-receive na sa receiver ang message, so of course, mag-end na ba ang communication dira? Para sa inyo ha, mag-end na ba or dili pa? Maybe some of you opt to speak not to someone kung naay magstorya sa inyo ha, like maghinom na lang ko, di na ko mutubag. If ingon ana mo, of course, the process of communication ended there. However, when you give feedback, the cycle will continue. And so, what does it mean when you say feedback? You are used to hearing the word feedback because lots of times your teachers and even I give feedback. So, by definition, when we say feedback, it refers to the reply. The word there is reply. If written or printed response, if oral and face to face, and reaction if gestures. Feedback is the final link in the chain of the communication process. So it is the final link in the chain of the communication process. Therefore, say for example, mingkog, huy, gwapahan niya, oy. So, unsa man to siya? Feedback na to nimo kanang di ba kaningon ana nimo, ang tawag ato mo ng mga feedback, and magdepende ang imong feedback the way you receive the message. So pag makahatag na ang feedback, pwede na pod nga mahimo na pod ka or mag-stimulate na pod ka og process of communication as long as there is magtinubagay mo, magkonvo mo, the process of communication continues to work. Okay? Ikaw sa messenger, you could be a receiver. Ikaw sa receiver, you could be the sender. Okay? Pwede ikaw as a sender, makahatag po kag feedback. Then, as ikaw po receiver, makahatag po ka og message. So, the process continues like that. Okay, I hope nga nasabtan ko sa elements and nature of communication. When we say of communication, it is a broad word or a broad concept, but we chunk it this time, or we go to its core for us to understand what is communication. So before we proceed to learning or to deepen rather our understanding in communication, it is very important that we need to know the elements of communication, because these will serve as our springboard to understand the more deeper concept of communication. So, I hope that I'm understood. So, I have here the evaluation. So, I have here the evaluation. Please click the link below or type or copy the link below for you to be able to take the evaluation, and then I will be maybe I will be updating you, or ako siguro mong i-message regarding kung i i-close na ba na ako ang evaluation. Okay, so pag ma-upload nga video, maybe one day, or I will give you 1 day or 2 days to take the evaluation, and after 1 or 2 days ako na i-close ang evaluation. So please don't procrastinate to take the evaluation. Take it now. Thank you so much for listening and taking the time, because this is a requirement. Mojin na. So, thank you for listening and goodbye.